So there's a ton of YouTube videos out there with iPhone tips and tricks. And if you're like me, you've probably watched at least a handful of them. To me, some of them are helpful, but honestly, a lot of them, it's stuff I'm never going to use, or it's buried so deep in the settings that I'm never going to bother if I can remember how to do it to begin with. Let me show you a handful of super useful things you can use right now on your iPhone to make the stuff you already do on your phone faster and easier, to make your day-to-day life just simpler, and to use practical features that you probably didn't even know your iPhone could do. For example, did you know that you can scan paper documents right into your iPhone for things like sending it as an email or putting it in your notes? And it's really quick and simple. It's built right into the phone. So check this out. No deep settings, no cool but useless features, nothing complicated at all. Just easy, fast, and useful stuff. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Dan Fox, and I've been working for over 30 years professionally, helping people with technology. This video is going to focus on the things your iPhone can do that are truly beneficial to most people. First up, let's take a look at the keyboard on the iPhone. Now, these tips I'm going to show you in the keyboard work in any app, but I'm going to show it in the Messages app here. So let's say you started a message that you're about to send to someone, but you need to go back into what you've written already to change something. If you hold your finger down on the spacebar on the keyboard, you can freely move your finger around like a cursor. And this makes it easy to get right back to the spot you wanted to change. Now, this other tip here I find really useful, and it reminds me of when phones were so much smaller and you could actually type on them with one hand. And again, this works anywhere on your iPhone when you're using the keyboard, but if you hold your finger down in the lower left-hand corner on the smiley face here, you'll see a menu pop up where you have the option to slide the keyboard over to the left or to the right. In this example, I'm going to slide it over to the right because I'm right-handed. When you do this, the keyboard squishes over to the right, and you can type on it with one hand just using your thumb. And you can click here to make the keyboard go back to normal size. And another feature I find really useful is the ability to slide your finger around on the keyboard to type. Now, this sounds really weird, but if you just start with the first letter of the first word and drag your finger to the next letter, and then the next letter, and then the next letter, don't worry about spaces, just go to the next word, and it takes a second to get used to, but once you start doing this, you'd be surprised at how quickly you can just sort of swipe out a sentence. There you go, 3 tips for your keyboard, very easy to use, and I find these to be very useful. Now, since we're already in Messages, let's take a look at a couple things you can do while you're here that you may not know about. For instance, did you know you can schedule a message to be sent later? This one's incredibly useful if you think of something you want to send to somebody and it's, 5 o'clock in the morning or late at night. So you've got your message typed out here. You hit the little plus symbol here and scroll until you see Send Later. Once you click Send Later, you have options for whether you want to send it later in the day. You can even send it several days from now. But the nice thing is you don't forget. You can type it out, schedule it to send later, hit send, and then it'll sit here in blue. That's how you know that you've scheduled to send it later. Now, if you changed your mind on when you want them to get it, you can actually still go in and edit that date or time as long as it hasn't sent yet. This one to me is super useful. Now, before we get into the last set of features I want to show you here, if you're finding value in this video, please consider subscribing. It is the easiest way to help my channel. I genuinely appreciate it. And if you do subscribe and you want to be notified anytime I post something new, click the little bell next to the subscribe button down below. Again, I really appreciate it. And here's something I use every single day. Sometimes you just want to open an app on your iPhone and you're not exactly sure where the icon is. But if you're on your home page or any of the pages where the icons are laid out, you can just put your finger in the middle of the screen and swipe down real quick. A search box will pop up. And in that search box, you can type whatever you're looking for. When you start typing stuff in, it will search not just your apps, but also all of the other information in your phone. Emails and notes and whatever. So it's a nice little way to search for anything on your phone. In this case, I'm searching for the Measure app. Did you know that your phone has a built-in tape measure? And it is surprisingly accurate. My wife and I have used this so many times before we go to the store to buy like a picture frame or get a piece of wood cut. It's also nice if you're in a store and you didn't bring a tape measure and now you need to measure something to see if it's going to fit somewhere. So when you open the Measure app, it looks almost like the camera's open, but this is how it measures. You'll see a little disc here with a dot in the middle. Move it to the location you want to start measuring, hit the plus symbol, move to the end of the thing you want to measure, and hit the plus symbol again. Now in this case, I'm going to go over here, click the plus symbol again, and show how you can drag these together, hit the plus symbol again, and there's my two measurements. Now, if you hit the shutter button over here on the right, this will be saved into your camera roll as a photo so that you can use it for reference later. You may have also noticed there's a button here that says level. You can also use this as a level if you want to, say, hang something on the wall and make sure that it's level. And here's how this one works. Once you select the level button, the phone will immediately display the angle that it's being held at. So if I hold it up here, it turns to 0. When it hits 0, it turns green to let you know it's level. If I do it here again on the top, again, it's green. But if I tilt it a little and it goes like -3, see, it turns black. -8, and this works remarkably well. So measure and level, two really nice tools that are built right into your iPhone with no extra apps. Now this next one is incredibly useful, but it is pretty cool also. Did you know that you can copy text directly from a photo, from a paused video, or even in real time right from your camera without having to take a photo or video? Now, what do I mean by copy text? Let's say, for example, there's a sign on the side of the road with a phone number you want to call. You can just open your camera app, point it at the sign. When you see this little symbol in the bottom right-hand corner, you can either select right on the number to call it or select here below where the number has already popped up. Now, clicking either one of these will also give you an option to send a text message to the number if you don't want to call it. You can do the same thing with addresses. For example, on this Italian menu, here's the address. If I want to figure out how to get to this place, I can just open the camera app, wait for the little symbol to appear in the bottom right-hand corner, tap on the address, open it in Apple Maps, and get directions on how to get there. Yeah, that looks like a pretty long drive. I think I'm going to pass on this one. And although this feature does not require you to take a video or photo of that sign or that address, you can if you want to come back later in your camera roll and then call or get directions to the place. To do this, you just open the photo in your camera roll and select on that same little symbol. Follow the same procedure. And the last tip here I want to show you is the one I mentioned at the beginning of the video where you can scan paper documents right into your phone. Now, technically, you can scan these into a lot of different locations on your phone, including your reminders, the Books app, and other apps. But today, we're going to keep it simple, and I'm going to show you where I think it's most commonly useful. That's email, notes, and iCloud. So if you're like me and you keep all your files in iCloud, you can scan paper documents right into iCloud so you can access it from any of your Apple devices later. So scanning a paper document into your email is really easy. Let's say you have the Apple Mail open, you've started composing a new email. All you have to do is tap in the body of the email here where the cursor is. When you do that, a little menu is going to pop up here. So click this arrow on the right and then scroll all the way down until you see Scan Document. Click that and the Scan Document interface will pop up. Now I've made a quick freeze frame of this so I can explain, but right here, this button that says Shutter, this is by default set to automatic. So as soon as you open Scan Document and your phone sees a document, it will scan it. And then if you take it out and put another document under it, it will scan that and it will continue to keep scanning pages. So I prefer to click here and turn that off. So now it's in manual mode and it won't scan a document until I tell it to. So if I put a document in front, it won't do anything until I have it aligned, and then I see the blue box, and then I hit the shutter button. What's nice about manual mode is you can drag the corners if it didn't quite get all of the document or it's not lined up just right. And since we're in manual mode now, you do have to hit the keep button to let it know to go ahead and scan. And regardless of whether or not you're in auto mode or manual mode, you have to hit the checkbox to let it know you're done and you want to attach the scanned document to your email. And there you go. It's attached as a PDF file and you can send it on to the recipient. So the next app I'm going to show you how to scan a document into is the Apple Notes app. So either you can start a new note or you can go into an existing note, but the three dots up here in the right-hand corner, you want to select those, select the scan icon, and there you are. You're right back in the same scan documents interface. And again, it's going to be in automatic mode right away. You can leave it like that or switch it to manual, but when you scan a document, it's going to land right in your note. Once the document's in your note, you can click this little arrow here and select Rename to rename the file. Personally, I prefer doing this to keep things a little more organized. Hit Save and your document is renamed. And with any of these methods, you can attach as many document scans as you want, whether it be to email or notes or to iCloud. And the last way I'm going to show you to scan a paper document is into iCloud. So again, if you're like me and you keep all your files in iCloud, then you're going to use the Files app just like you would normally do. This is already going to be on your iPhone. Open the Files app, go to the folder that you want to scan the paper document into, click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, select Scan Document, and there you go, same Scan Document interface. And again, you can do multiple pages or whatever. By default, it's going to save your scan as a document called Scanned Document, but the cursor is already at the end of the file name, so if you just backspace over it, you can type in the name that you prefer, and then hit the blue checkbox at the bottom to save it under the new file name. All right, so there you go. That's a handful of iPhone features that I sincerely think are worth your time. If you found this video useful and you'd like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. Again, I really do appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more iPhone features and tips like this, practical, useful, simple, let me know because I'm thinking about making this a series of videos that I may do every once in a while. I do read every single comment and I really appreciate all the feedback. I also want to take a quick moment to thank all of you that have been so kind and so supportive. I love your comments. I really appreciate it, and I've enjoyed chatting with you in the comments. I can't believe I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers already. I really, really appreciate it. Anyway, I hope this video helped you out, and I'll see you next time.